Alright, you beautiful peoples of the internet, Glyn here. Back with another little video here with Skyrim. It's had a free upgrade for PS5, so you basically get a PS5 edition for free if you get the had the original PS4 enhanced edition. So we can see here we've got the big mountain, the Skyrim Dragon Mountain in the background there. So what are the differences PS5 to, well, from PS4 to PS5 edition? Essentially what you're getting is a 60 FPS update and quicker loading, and that's about all we can see difference wise. So we'll show off the loading now. Well, first I'll do a few pan shots so we can see. That's the 60 FPS, all running lovely. Swivel it around. Yeah, that looks all great and fine and dandy. So, what is it? Bring up the map. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fast travel from one end of the world to the other, just to show you how quick we can fast travel. So, we count it 1, 2, and that's it. So that is quite an upgrade in itself, that you're not having to sit on that screen watching that for ages. Fair job there. But there we go, so that's basically your upgrades. Markarth, quite a nice place this, isn't it?
So Madanak was behind those murders.
I don't even think you get a HDR
God's
update for the game either.
The bloodiest beef in the Reach.
The finest jewelry in all of Markarth.
Let's come out of here. Again, this would normally be quite about 10 or 20 seconds of loading, drop down to 2 seconds. So yeah, so if you can forgive it for not really having much of a graphical enhancement, then the speed of loading, that's going to add to your immersion when playing the game. What I would have really liked to see though is some sort of maybe ray traced global illumination. I think that would have really have made the game stand out. As you can see in the background, the graphics are all right. They're good enough, but they look a bit flat. The way everything looks, the lighting all looks a little bit on the flat side. It would have been nice to have, some really good global illumination. Like the back of this here, if you look at the floor there, that should be in shadow because the sun's behind it, so all this should be in a darker shade, but you can see it's just all glowy. All the leaves on the trees are all glowing the same as the leaves in the distance there. That would have been quite nice. It's things like that I would have thought that it's got more than enough power, the next gen consoles, to do that. This is an Xbox, essentially an Xbox 360 game with a resolution boost and some higher textures, and they're not that high. I mean, look at them there. The other thing would have been what do they call it now, where you get these bump maps. I'm going to call them bump maps that allow these to stick up out the ground. I forgot what it's called. Something. It's not occlusion. If I can remember what they were called, someone in the comment section remind me what they're called. But essentially, it would have made these stones look like they're popping up. So it's a shame it hasn't. They haven't added something like that. That would have made a nice little, like, the walls here wouldn't have looked so flat. They would have had a little more sort of pronouncing, like the pieces are coming out of the wall. That would have been quite a low powered effect they could have added. They would have added a nice little touch, If you look at this texture here, just looks like it's been painted or wrapped on. We're just giving it that little bit more 3D look to everything. So that and a bit of global illumination would have been nice, but there we go. It's like textures like that don't really look that good now. You can see the the failures in them. When they were all muddy on Xbox 360 and you were running at 480p or 720p, you could get away with stuff like that. But now, when you try to enhance stuff to 4K, you know, it really shows off the differences. Now this wall ain't too bad. See, it's got lumps. The rocks do sort of stick out a bit. And I kind of like the blur effect there, look, the out of focus effect. If we come back here, do it again. If you see in the distance in the top left corner, everything's gone out of focus. That's quite nice. Could have enhanced that a little bit more. Like the waterfall in the background there is all sort of blurry and out of focus. As we come up, it goes into focus. That's okay, that's not a bad little effect. I'm guessing it was in the original one because they've done very little apart from the resolution. There's not even a resolution bump, it's still 4K. It's just a frame rate bump, which you could get it running on the mods, 60 FPS, but it was a little bit of a flap if you wanted to get achievements and run the mods. You had to like load up the mod, load up the game, enable the mod, quit the game, disable the mod, start the game, and then the mod would work even though it was disabled. So essentially it's just that really. You're just getting the ability to now play it at 60 FPS without having to flap about. There's no increase in LODs or loading of detail. That all looks pretty much the same. The water there looks a bit flat, doesn't it? Looks a bit shiny. It's a shame they could have really have enhanced it a lot more, but then it was a free enhancement. I mean, if they'd done a proper... If they'd gone and said, right, okay, we've gone in, we've added all extra textures, we've made like the stones and the textures on the floor pop up, we've added ray traced global illumination, and we've stuck a few new levels in, then I suppose they could get away with a 15 quid, 20 quid upgrade. You know, I probably would have bitten the bullet, but I ain't going to pay 20 quid for a little bit more content when this game is just absolutely dripping with content anyway. You could spend thousands of hours playing Skyrim and doing every mission. So anyway, that's my little rant over. This has been Skyrim Special Edition. Free enhancement for the anniversary to the... You've essentially get the anniversary edition but without the content for free. So it's on... Oh, by the way, I'm on PS5, but I'll put that in the description anyway. So it was nice of Microsoft to let Bethesda drop this on PlayStation, so kudos for them for doing that. And that's it. I think we're going to shoot off out now. Come on, Lydia. Where's she gone? Lydia? There she is, Lydia, man. We've got things to kill, tasks to do, people to see. Yeah, okay, and we're out. Bye now.